Research suggests that the last mumps epidemic occurred quite some years ago. What changed in 2022 that allowed Mpox, formerly monkeypox, to spread so rapidly? This recent study demonstrates that it turns out that the version of the virus appeared more sooner than expected. The increase in reported instances occurred all of a sudden. In May of 2022, a mysterious strain of the virus once known as monkeypox, Mpox, began spreading. Regular, smaller outbreaks of the virus are most common in Central and West Africa. We now know that the virus has mutated in an extraordinary 42 locations throughout its genome. It was clear that there was some mutation process going on that is not typically seen in these viruses, says Professor Richard Neher from the University of Basel in the SWR. Neher is a co-author on the recent Science article, What Exactly Happened to the Virus? The international scientific team is looking into the virus's genetic variations for clues to these questions. The genomic analyses also answer the critical issue of how long the novel viral variety has been circulating among people. Mice and rats are the natural hosts of the viruses. They provide as a water source for the animals. Since the virus was initially discovered in monkeys, the illness has been often referred to as monkeypox, and the name has stuck. However, humans often get the disease from rodents. Therefore, rodent illnesses have always been associated with previous human epidemics. So, did a human get the highly modified virus from a rat at the start of the year 2022? Alternatively, did the virus rapidly adapt to human hosts within a few months? Neither is plausible, since rapid and dramatic changes in a virus's behavior have never been seen. The genome of the newly discovered viral strain reveals crucial information. DNA mutations suggest a worrisome trend, according to the analyses. It is usual for an enzyme in the human immune system to undergo alterations in the genome at two separate locations. What we see here are essentially the scars of the human immune system, explains biophysicist Neher. The enzyme APOPEC3 is at the center of this discussion. Some viruses are able to withstand an enzyme's assault, despite the enzyme's intended function. The researchers unearthed just these indications. The genomic signatures indicate that this novel viral strain developed in humans. But how rapidly can such a new variation emerge? When did the viral variety that started the abnormally severe epidemic in May of 2022 first appear? The study's authors speculate that no more than 6 mutations each year are possible. The new viral variety contains 42 differences, thus it has likely been circulating among people for at least 6 years. Neher, a biophysicist, explains that this is evident from evolutionary trends. This epidemic began in 2016, at the earliest. The research suggests that constant battle with the human immune system is to blame for both the usual alterations and the high mutation rate. In that case, why did the epidemic not start until May 2022, if the virus had been circulating in people for years? According to Neher, one explanation is all the vacations people had in 2022 after the corona epidemic had lifted travel restrictions. The monkeypox virus is spread by big droplets in the air we breathe. Those who share a household with an infected person or who offer medical treatment to them are at a higher risk. The pustules that form on diseased skin are also very infectious. It may spread to everyone who comes into touch with it or contaminated objects. The Robert Koch Institute suggests that sexual transmission is a possibility as well. Homosexual guys were a particularly fertile breeding ground for the virus. However, pediatric infections are also well documented. Whether this strain of the virus is more infectious than others is still up for debate. Because the DNA strand is so lengthy, more than 6 times as long as that of coronaviruses, analysis is difficult. So far, the new viral strain has only caused mild instances, such as skin blisters and pustules. The World Health Organization, WHO, has recorded almost 91,000 cases of Mpox since the year 2022 began, with 157 fatalities. The World Health Organization declared the global health crisis over in May of 2023. In particular, Portugal, Spain, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Germany have seen an uptick in cases after September 2023. Is it possible to entirely stop the virus's spread? Elimination is not that easy, Neher explains. This is partly due to multiple infection chains that were unnoticed until the large epidemic in 2022. the infection is likely to be more prevalent than first imagined. Several nations lack adequate diagnostic tools for the mumps virus. Virus detection now requires more involved PCR assays, and there is no quick test available. However, spreading information about the illness might help curb the epidemic. The Robert Koch Institute, RKI, states that vaccination is also an option for those who come into touch with diseased persons or high-risk populations. The authors of the report urge further global investigation of the disease. This novel HIV strain is likely to remain in human populations indefinitely. Like, share, subscribe.